this program was first launched in 2007. It was called the in Chinese. Literally means great or good net tutors. Yes, so there were already 4 phases at the time of our study. There were 3 phases of tutors being trained up, and they have phase 4 right now. Okay. And this is this study was conducted with a collaboration between 3 agencies. Professor Freddolino from Michigan State University is the principal investigator of the study, and also Dr. Law and me from the University of Hong Kong, and also Ms. Ho from Cyber Senior Network, who have been very supportive in helping us to organize the focus group meetings with the tutors and also distribute the questionnaires to them. And the main purposes of our study, we want to learn from them about their motivation behind when they sign up for this program to become tutors, and their perspective about the training process, and their perceptions about the benefits they have gained from being a tutors, and also the challenges they might have encountered during the process, and also whether there are side effects on their lives, whether they have negative impacts on their health or interpersonal relationships, and their overall perception about the value of their volunteer work. And if there are any differences, gender, age, education, if these attributes have something to do with our findings, their perspective about tutoring. And finally, we made some suggestions about enhancing this level C program. And we have 4 focus groups in total during March and April 2009. One group with tutors from each phases, phase 1 to 3, and one group with coordinators, leaders from each of the first 3 phases. And we distributed survey, the questionnaires to the tutors by email and mail. There's a web-based questionnaire for them, and also hard copies. And the response rate is quite desirable, and it's 67.8%. And those who have responded to our questionnaire, they distributed evenly among the 3 phases, and they're more female than male, and it is very congruent with the Cyber Seniors membership, which is more female than male. And more than 60% of them were older than 60 years old, and more than half of them got higher than secondary education level. And the living condition, most of them, majority of them live with someone, their family, relatives, friends, and most of them were non-professionals before they got retired, at the time of their retirement. And the most important reasons for them to become tutors at the beginning, when they sign up for this program, but to help others to learn more about technology, something important to do after they got retired, to make their lives more fulfilling, and also have a chance to learn continuously. So they care less about earning a little amount of money, get recognition from others, and also enhance their interpersonal skills. They don't really, those are least concerns for them. And when we asked about how well prepared for tutoring role by the time when they completed the training, 80% of them felt adequately or very well prepared to become tutors after the training. And half of them, more than half of them, said it was, they were moderately or very effective in terms of mutual help among the tutors. This is not very high from our perspective. We expected that mutual help would be very helpful for them to be more, to have a stronger sense of belonging in this program. So we might be able to explain this later if we have time. And the most strongly agreed statements on the questionnaires they responded were they feel they are doing something important in helping others, and they feel that daily life more fulfilling, and they also they have improved their own IT knowledge and computer skills through tutoring. And none of them, when being asked about what challenges they have faced and how they rated those challenges written on the questionnaire, none of them rated major, those challenges as major challenges for them, but they concern more about, some of them concern more about their own level of computer knowledge and also the overall quality of the students, how they handle the students, their peer groups. So, as for the side effects on tutors' lives, very few of them, only 17.8% said they got health problems or significant lifestyle changes in the result of spending more time on using computer. And 86% of them reported that their relationships with relatives and friends have been improved because probably because of they have more to talk about computer and internet usage. Many of them, most of them thought that they were competent in becoming tutors, and they were they thought that the seniors they taught their students were better off after attending their courses, and the experience as tutors were very positive. So I pass it to Professor Freddolino to talk about the findings.
Just a couple of things about other findings. We were interested in seeing if there was, if any of the independent variables might explain differences among those attitudes that Vincent just reported on. And so we found, first of all, that with the variables that we looked at, there were no differences between men and women in the responses. There were some differences by age. The tutors aged under 65 were more positive about their experience than the tutors older than 65. We found that tutors who live alone reported feeling less well prepared for the tutoring role than those who lived with someone. And the data really didn't provide us an opportunity to explain some of these differences, but they are certainly point to things that can be looked at in future studies. Tutors who do not volunteer to teach computers in other agencies, and quick note that even though they were tutors in this particular program, some of them were also tutoring in other NGOs. Those who did not volunteer to teach in other agencies are more positive about evaluating themselves as tutors and the perceived benefits of training to older people. It's like they didn't have a point of comparison with another training program. We suspect that that's why they felt that group that only had this one experience in this one tutoring role were seeing things more positively than those who had other experiences in tutoring. There were no differences related to education level, no differences related to occupation, and no differences related to the hours of tutoring that they were doing or how long it's been since they retired. Age was a factor. Again, younger people are more positive in their perception of the work that they did than those who were over 65. One of the things that we thought was interesting in terms of findings was that when we started to ask about what would make you better as a tutor, there were a number of choices, and again, Vincent talked about the focus group that we used at the beginning that generated the list of forced choice responses that went into the survey. So all of these ideas came from the tutors themselves. They were not our ideas. The most frequently mentioned thing that they talked about was that they needed to learn more about interpersonal skills. And if you think back, there was a slide earlier that said learning more about interpersonal skills was not one of the things that they went into the program to learn about, but it seems like what they realized from their experience is that they needed more practice in interpersonal skills. It had nothing to do with the technology. There were some human characteristics there. 40% talked about needing basic computer knowledge, 32% teaching skills, and 29.7% software updates. Suggestions for enhancing the organization. The things that they talked about as most important were logistic support from staff. That was over 86% of the respondents talked about needing greater logistic support from staff. Better computer curriculum, efficient government policy, and more funding tied with better computer curriculum. More and better computer resources in the rooms, and continuous training for tutors, so that showed up lower than we would have thought in terms of what the tutors were hoping would improve the program. Overall, though, we found that the tutors felt prepared for their roles. They were not enthusiastic about the effectiveness of mutual help among the tutors, and that was a surprise to us. We really thought that that was a focus of this phase of the operation. We thought there would be a more positive response there. So there's, I think, still work to be done in that mutual support issue. The benefits were noticeable, and challenges that they reported were not major. They see value in their work, and if you're looking for a bottom line figure from an organizational point of view, 94.1% said they plan to continue volunteering. So if you're looking for a successful acclamation of the work that people are doing, that's pretty high. They derive positive benefits from their experience. They see value in their work. One of the things that several studies I think have pointed to is that when you're talking about volunteer tutors or volunteers in any program, volunteers need care and feeding. It's a very simple thing. We need to pay attention to them, need to support them. Training, ongoing support, logistical support to do their work is going to need value. And I think the other bottom line is that using peer tutors may provide a cost-effective approach for NGOs in addressing the digital divide issues. We were talking earlier about resources, and if we've got limited resources, perhaps peer tutoring is going to offer an opportunity or a mechanism for addressing some of these needs. With that, we'll take any questions, or let's take a question, I guess, before we, in the transition.
Yes, we have slightly more than a minute, so we can take 1 to short questions.
Were there dropouts during the courses?
Were there dropouts from the training program? Let's see, I'm trying to remember. Not too many from what we have discovered. The people that made the commitment to go through the training program to become tutors, most of them stayed on and became tutors. Yeah. I think there were dropouts from among the senior citizens that were taking courses, but the tutors themselves have definitely been behind.
Do you find any side effects that you have mentioned?
Any
side effect for the tutors?
Side effect? Well, they reported very little negative, and in fact, they reported a positive sense that it helped them in their own relations because they were using technology to connect with family and friends. So there was a positive indication there, and only 17% said that there was any kind of side effect on health or mental health issues from that.
Because my father got higher blood pressure when he spent more on
tutoring.
Yeah.
Oh. That could happen.
Okay, last question? Yes.
Yes. Yeah, we think what happened was that the tutors who were only tutoring for this one organization did not have a comparison from teaching other students in another NGO setting. So they tended to see their work more positively than the people who were teaching in 2 places, who might have said, okay, our students learned this much, but in this other setting, students seem to be learning more, and they may be getting more value. That's a guess. We really did not have the opportunity to follow up to get a sense of that. But that's a question for the next study. There's always a next study.
Okay. Thank you for the presentation. The slide that I second presented is Sue